All right. Good morning and happy Friday, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. And you know what we're gonna do right off the bat? We gotta push this out. Get you folks on here. I know it's early for a lot of you, um, but if you win, you jump on. You know what to do. Leave a comment. Let me know where you're at in the old interwebs today. Got a different type of show lined up for you today that I'm excited about. Special guest lined up for you. Um, This guy has been a friend for Jesus, many years. Like I've known this guy for many years. He is a trusted advisor, somebody whom I literally would put my life in his hands and know that I would be all right with. Um, Marine Corps veteran. He is he's the founder of Spartan Media. He's probably he won't say this, but I will. Probably the number one PR person in the country right now, and there's nobody else that, in my opinion, that you could trust more than this gentleman. So, without further ado, I'm going to bring my buddy Jeremy. Jeremy, what's up, brother? How are you?
Doing outstanding, brother. How about yourself?
I'm doing good, man. Listen, appreciate you. I know this was last minute. I hit you up on this, and I can't thank you enough for jumping on. This is something I've actually wanted to do with you for a while, jumping on the weekly wrap up with us. I've gone to you for a slew of different things, and I just want to kind of want to give the viewers and those that come on, later on that watch this, little bit of information like who you are and what your expertise is, because like I said, I've known you for years, and I've seen you in different facets of business and whatnot. But can you share with the viewers and listeners just a little bit about yourself and what you really do?
Yeah. So first of all, thanks for that introduction, man. That's amazing. I appreciate the kind words, and obviously I feel the same way about you. As far as, who I am, what I'm about, the short version is pretty much from the time I got out of the Marine Corps until fairly recently. I had run a full service digital marketing agency. And then several years ago, I had a health crisis that almost killed me. Spent about 2 years on my deathbed. And in that time, of course, being gone from the marketing world for 2 years, I basically became a ghost. And so to get back into authority status, get back on top of the world and rebuild everything, I leveraged public relations to put myself back on the map. And in doing that, I realized what a powerful tool that was, because there's so many great people out there. You and I know a ton of people who are amazing at what they do.
Yeah.
They really focus on bringing value to their clients and just the community as a whole, but they're not as great at promoting themselves as they are at doing whatever it is that they do. Yeah. So they're kind of drowned out by the douchebags of the world, the scumbags, the con artists who are great at promoting themselves because, let's be honest, they have to be, right?
Right.
Because they're not getting referral business. So that was when we pivoted to focusing entirely on PR. And in doing that, we take these people who are experts and they care about their clients, they care about bringing value, and we elevate them into a recognized authority in their industry so they can attract more opportunities and earn more money.
What would you think is the biggest mistake that, business owners or people that are trying to get their name out there? What's the biggest mistake people make?
Man, that's a tough call. I would say it falls into one of two camps on either side of the same coin. One is this fake it till you make it mindset, right?
Yeah.
Get up there and inflate your accomplishments, inflate your revenue, talk about things you haven't actually done yet. Present yourself as an expert where you're not. And that always hurts you in the long run.
Yeah.
The other side of the coin is not getting out there and not getting out there enough, right? And then, kind of tangential to that is so many people, they think it's going to be easier than it really is, right? They're, I'm going to go out here and I'm going to, put out this social media post and it's going to go viral and I'm going to be the next big thing. Or I'm going to go get featured in this one media outlet and all the doors are going to open. And that's just not how it works. I mean, hell, you run a podcast network.
Yeah.
All these people, and there's a stat specific to podcasts. Maybe you remember what it is. I don't off the top of my head. How many episodes do most podcasts stop at?
5.
Okay.
5.
So that's a perfect example of this. They'll get out there with high hopes. They'll be like, I'm going to, take over the world. And then they'll put out a few episodes. They're not getting the traction that they want. And then they give up and they jump onto the next thing and then the next thing and then the next thing. And nothing ever gains traction because they don't stick with it long enough to actually get the results.
Yeah.
So those are the two key mistakes that I see people make.
I'm glad you bring that up because it's like sometimes I feel like you're talking directly at me.
What are you talking about, man? You've been grinding at this forever, man. You are consistent as hell.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate that. Thank you. Kaylin, I see you there. Thank you. It's I think for some people, I want to add into this. I think some people, when it comes to podcasting, it's between 5 and 7, and people don't realize it. I'm going to do a podcast and I'm going to get 10,000 and I'm going to be the next Joe Rogan or whatever. That's great that you're thinking that, and that's a good goal to work towards. But if you think you're going to get that out the gate and you're a nobody, I tell everybody I'm the most famous person you've never heard of. And that's been kind of my thing. And it's I've been doing this for a long time. There's a lot of people that don't know Adam, and I'm okay with that. That's fine. But there's a lot of people that know people that I work with and that I've helped with their podcasts and stuff like that as well. You get burned out or you realize, man, this is a lot of work. It is but here's the other thing. Anything that's worth having is worth putting some effort into it. I think as well. But when it comes to like branding and stuff like that, excuse me, I think you're right. I think the biggest thing is well, let me ask you this, Jeremy. What is not enough? You mentioned in there that some people, they don't do enough to get out there, like, because there's so many different social media platforms, and there's so, like, how do you know you're doing enough, and where's that line where it says, okay, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and I'm starting to see results? Is there a magic number?
No, there's no magic number. That's going to vary depending on industry. That's going to vary depending on your technical capabilities, your personal, your personality, all of that. But at the end of the day, before we even talk about metrics, we have to look at what are you trying to accomplish?
Yeah.
So, this is something that I talked about in the TV interview that I was on yesterday.
Yeah.
And unrelated specifically to marketing, but, we were talking about veteran suicide in this case. And the anchor asked me, how do you kind of, if you're in that dark place, how do you get over that? And the answer was, you have to have a mission that's bigger than yourself, just like we had in the military, right? Yeah. If you're out here on a patrol, it's not about, I'm uncomfortable right now, or I'm tired, or I need to get back and, call my wife or whatever. This is the mission. I have to focus on this mission so that, the brothers to the right and left of me don't die. It's the same with your marketing. You have to look at your mission. My live stream is a perfect example of that. I've got a fairly large audience. I've got a lot of engagement. I've got a massive email list, which admittedly I have not been using as effectively as I should. But and that's the other thing, right? Like, everybody looks at, the various assets that we have, whether it's a large audience, a large email address, the opportunity to speak on stage or be on TV or things like that. And they're like, oh, that person's got it made. They've just got the world at their fingertips. And that's never the case. I don't care how much you have. There's always more you could be doing. You can always leverage what you have more effectively. So it's a constant grind. You always have to be at it. When I started my live stream, I was looking at YouTube yesterday and I just hit episode 20. So about 5 months.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, I wasn't getting very much, right? There wasn't a lot of people popping on the live stream, and then of course it pushes to YouTube. And then I'm looking at the stats and it's like, well, man, there's only like 20 views on this video. Well, 20 views is not anything to sneeze at, right? That's not bad. I mean, imagine standing in front of a room of 20 people and they're sitting there watching, they're sitting there listening.
Yeah.
That says something. That says that what you're doing is valuable. But too many people think it's the thief of comparison, right? They say, oh, well, Gary V's up here and he's got, I don't know. I have no clue how many subscribers he has, but let's just say, 5 million subscribers. And they're like, oh man, I've only got, 100 subscribers or 200 or 500 or whatever. They're comparing it to somebody who's put in all that work. They've done the grind. Right. They've consistently done it for years. Have you ever seen some of Gary V's early videos?
Yeah.
They look like a fucking proof of life video, man.
Yeah.
It's terrible. I'm waiting for a dude all fucking wrapped up, to come out of the corner and, fucking all of that shit. But that's one of the big areas where I see people go wrong is they start making these comparisons. Well, I should be here. Well, why should you be here?
Right.
That person's there because of all the work that they put in, even when they didn't see the results, right? Just like exercise. In the beginning, you're up here lifting weights or you're running on the treadmill or whatever, and you're not seeing results immediately. It's once you consistently do it for a long period of time. And that's what you need to do is just stick with it and keep grinding, even when you don't see the results. And the way to do that is to focus on the mission. What is it you're trying to achieve? You want to build a successful podcast network that there's a lot of great podcasters on, and they're sharing, great content that other people like, and they keep coming back and watching and listening. Well, then somebody who wants to do that has to do what you've been doing for all these years.
Yeah.
Consistently getting these great podcasters, bringing them onto the network, promoting the network, engaging, networking, all of that stuff. And that's something that you've always been great at. You've always been great at getting out there, sticking with the grind, and doing what you have to do to be successful because you have a mission and you're working towards that mission. It's not about Adam's ego. It's not about how many people know who Adam is or how many people are, praising Adam. It's about the mission. And that's what you've always focused on. And that's one of the things I respect about you.
I appreciate that, my friend. Thank you very much. Gene, good morning to you. Appreciate you. Kenneth, I see you over there, buddy. Gabriel must be in the morning restroom break because that's about the only time he jumps on. So I appreciate you guys jumping on. Now I want to highlight something real quick because you said it's about the mission, and I think that's the biggest thing, especially in the veteran community, as you're transitioning out, is making sure that you find your purpose or find a purpose, find your next mission, so you can keep moving forward on stuff. And with me, even though Gabe. I hate you, Gabe.
What's the comment?
The comment is it's all about it.
All right. I like Gabe. Gabe, send me a friend request, man.
Yeah, well, he's one of your fellow Marines.
All right.
Now that's what it is. And I think for me it's always been those that get down about your numbers or whatnot. If you have one person watching and that's showing up religiously, that means you're doing something for that person. I said this on an interview the other day is you have, God gives you certain abilities and talents that he wants you to use. And I'm a little late in life in my mid 40s now and or late 40s rather. And I look at it as like, if I have these gifts and I'm not using them, then how selfish is it of me because I'm supposed to be using these gifts to help other people?
Absolutely. And think about it like this, whether you're religious or, just think of it from the universe perspective, whatever.
Yeah.
You have assets, whether it be a particular knowledge set or a very engaging personality or the ability to, negotiate, whatever, the various skills you have. If you're not using them to develop something, why would God or the universe or whatever give you more things? Because you're not using the things you've already got.
Right. Exactly. Jeremy, I want to take a step back here. Just a little bit of a shift. Spartan Media, that's your company that you started. Small business owners that are out there watching this, and there's several of you right now. If you're looking for help, and this is somebody that, again, it was somebody that I trust, somebody that I always go to. How can people reach out to you? if they're looking for, they got questions on PR or they want to learn more, what can they do? How can they reach out to you?
Man, I am easy to find, right? No surprise. The PR guy is easy to find. You Google me, I'll pop up. I'm all over social, every platform. Although I will say I've got an Instagram, but I hardly ever use it. But I'm pretty much on every social media platform. My website is spartanmedia.com. That'll pop right up in the top. I'm super easy to find. So just Google me and that's where I'll be.
All right, I'm going to share some of these comments. Your Gabe here, his good look seems to. And then Renee, good morning, dear. Appreciate you jumping on, Renee Wager. I got to connect the two of you.
Sounds good.
Renee is good people. Working on her with her on a couple of other projects. So this is good stuff.
Nice.
You've recently started a community, and I'd like to talk about that real quick. It's a community that I'm fortunate enough to be a part of. It's called the Spartan Community, and I think it's great. You get on, you do a monthly call with us every week. You're doing your lives like you mentioned earlier, and if you haven't seen this stuff, make sure you check it out, folks. And we'll put a link here after the show. What's the Spartan Community? Can you explain that to people?
Absolutely. So, I've kind of been watching the economy soften a bit over the last few years.
No.
And there's a lot of great people out there, like we talked about, people who are great at what they do. They care about their customers. They care about bringing value, but maybe they're a little bit earlier in the game, or, they, for whatever reason, they just aren't at a point where they can hire somebody like me to, help them get out there in a bigger way.
Yeah.
So I wanted to create a way for people to get this knowledge, these resources, this information, the connections, all of this, without having to, hire us as a as a PR firm. So I launched Spartan Community as a low ticket offer where basically they can come in and, like you said, we have a monthly call where we're teaching a particular topic, right? And then we do these sessions where I'll go through and I'll present on that topic, and then we open it up to Q&A at the end of that. Lots of great information. And then all of this stuff is also stored in the community portal. So you can go in and find all the previous ones, as our as our library of content grows, there's more and more and more information out there that they can learn from. And then they go and they implement this on their own. It's a DIY thing. So I teach it and then they go execute on their own. And basically that's what we've built. It's a $47 a month membership, something that pretty much anybody all the way down to a brand new one-person startup can afford. And then we've also built in some really killer software that helps them be more effective in what they're doing in their marketing. So we've got the library, right? The content library, where all of us are creating great content fairly often, but most of that content is what I would call evergreen. It's something that could be reused again and again and again. Unfortunately, for most people, they don't have a way to store that and categorize it so that they can then reuse it later. So we've built a library where you can store that content. And then, let's say you want to post something today and you don't have an idea. You want to go back to something that you've used before in the past. Yeah. You go into your library. You can search by, keywords or whatever. You can search by content type, right? Like we've got, you can store like a content idea if you just have something that, hey, I had this great idea. I just don't have time to write the post right now. You can store a content idea. We've got text content, image content, video content, and publicity. So you can store all of these things in there so that you can continue to reuse them, which keeps you in front of your audience, and it trains the algorithm to keep showing your content to more people because you're consistently putting it out there, right? And that's one of the things we talked about earlier is that consistency. Yeah. That creates kind of an outsized perception of where you are and what you're doing, right? So that's one of the cool tools. There's a few new ones that you and I haven't talked about yet. Yeah. I did show you the one, the content machine, where basically, you select a couple of drop downs. So you'll pick your industry and then you'll pick a direction for the content. So for example, a myth in your industry. And then you'll put in a little bit of information. One of the examples I like to use a lot because it's simple and everyone understands it is, I've got a lot of clients in the real estate space. So one of the big myths in the real estate industry is you need a lot of money to get started investing in real estate, which is not true if you know how to do it right.
Right.
So you would pick real estate, you would pick a myth in my industry, and then you just put in a little bit of information. And you could just put in something as simple as you need a lot of money to get started in real estate. And then you'll pick a tone from a dropdown, right? Do you want it to be kind of conservative, neutral, intense? And it will create a text post for you that you can then go post on social media. You can store it in your library so you can reuse it later. And then the one that you and I have not talked about yet is we're tracking trending topics. And what we do is we then connect those trending topics to different industries.
Right.
So there's a section in the community where it's got every day, every morning at 9 o'clock, it publishes a new batch of these outlines connecting a trending topic to an industry. We've got several industries. We're going to be adding a few more. But basically, it's now got this cool outline for a piece of content connecting those two topics, the trending topic with the industry. And you could either just take that outline and then write your own, or there's a little link you click and it takes you to another page where it will put the outline into a little page, and you can edit the outline if you want to add some stuff, delete some stuff, modify it, whatever. And it will create a whole post about that topic.
So if you're a creator or you're a small business owner and you're trying to stay on top, or small business owner and you're trying to give your social media team something to do, and they're running out of content, this can help create content specifically towards an industry that they're either interested in or in themselves. Yes,
absolutely.
So cool. So how does somebody join?
So I'll have to get you your link, but if they sign up in the Spartan community, it's dead simple. I mean, it's at community.spartanmedia.com.
Yeah.
But let's everybody, if you're going to do that, wait for Adam to drop the link. It's an affiliate link, so let's help him out as well. But basically, you go in there, you sign up. It's dead simple. Just go through the little checkout process. It's $47 a month, and then you're a member. You've got access to everything. The portal, all the previous content, all the future content, and all of the tools. And, we're also working on developing some new tools as well. Yeah. So this is kind of an ongoing evolution.
I love it. I've learned a lot from it. And I'm glad to be a part of it. So thank you, Jeremy. I know we're coming up on time. I know you got a hard stop here coming up here, but I before we let you go, I appreciate your support and everything over the years. And everybody, Spartan community, I will have a link for this, and I'll put it in the show notes below, later. And then I'll also, come back and we'll be promoting it on the social platforms, because we got several platforms running simultaneously right now. So I'll make sure I get it out to all of you on the different platforms, as well. Follow Jeremy, look him up. Like, seriously, you just Google his name. I mean, he's on the first 20 pages of Google. That's like, you're not going to miss him. So brother, I know I got to let you run, but I appreciate you jumping on this morning.
My pleasure, brother. Thanks for having me on. It's always a blast.
All right, brother. Take care.
All right. You too, man. All
right, folks. Yeah, Jeremy is solid, dude. Love him to death, man. Great guy. And it was, wanted to share something a little bit different this morning. So I was glad he was able to jump on with us. Now, what we're going to do, if my computer stops acting up, is we are going to get into some of the topics, news topics that we found this week. Give me just a second, guys. You ever have, my computer's been acting just absolutely strange lately. All right, let's start with, what are we going to start with? Judge blocks Trump move to safeguard U.S. elections. Anybody got any thoughts on this one? Have you seen this? U.S. District Judge Colleen Kohler Cotley has blocked President Trump's order protecting the nation's elections by requiring people to provide a proof of U.S. citizenship when registering to vote. The judge did not block the order requiring mail-in ballots to be received by Election Day and to be counted. ACLU's director Sophia Lynn Larkin saying voters said in a statement that Trump's efforts to impose a documentary proof of citizenship requirement on the federal voter registration form is unconstitutional and an abuse of power. Is it? Shouldn't we? Again, I'm asking. I'd like to know your guys' thoughts on this. Is it too much to ask to show that you're able to vote here in the United States? Can we vote in other countries without showing like proper identification? Can you just show up and vote? Like if I wanted to go to, I don't know, Argentina, Colombia, Germany, something, I wanted to vote over there. Could I do that? That's a legitimate question. I don't think I can. There we go. Now I'm getting this thing situated. What are your guys' thoughts? Should ID be required? Gene, what do we have here? Yeah. Okay. I'm glad you said that. We're going to be more to this. Over on IG, DJ, be like other countries, but don't do what they do. Rich, what's up, brother? There you are. No, you couldn't. You need permission to enter either country. Yep, that's true. Again, I'm going to put this up there. I love it. I think there's too much wanting to block everything. It's crazy. But keep that in mind. That's the first one. Keep the comments coming because I got some other ones I think are going to get you guys riled up. Trump sues the Clinton affiliated law firm. President Trump announced that he's filing a lawsuit against the Clinton affiliated law firm Perkins Cole. In a statement, President Trump said, "I'm suing the law firm Perkins Cole for their unlawful acts, in particular of conduct of specific member of the firm, only to find that the judge to the case now that's assigned to this case is Beryl Hollow and Obama appoint judge who has ruled unfair against Trump in the past, unfair according to President Trump's words. Basically, he's suing because this sparked the Russian dossier. So we're in 2016. So we're starting to see some of this stuff come to life and play out. Is it going to happen? I don't know. I'm going to see, but this is going to be interesting. Do you think we'll see more lawsuits coming out here with this administration? I don't know. I like to think maybe not like to think, but I think it's going to happen. Instagram Meta FTC antitrust reveals Zuckerberg's power play. I have not talked about Mark Zuckerberg in a long time. I've been good, but it's time to change it up a little bit. Instagram co-founder Kevin Strom testified in federal court this week that Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg deliberately limited resources to Instagram after acquiring the platform, fearing its rapid growth could outshine Facebook. His testimony is a key part of the Federal Trade Commission's ongoing antitrust case against Meta, aligning the company used its power to crush competition and form an illegal monopoly. This is the third story in the last month that I've brought to you guys about a monopoly. I don't know why I'm doing this. Are we going to see more and more monopolies? That's just fun to do. Monopolies happening. And I say happening, meaning are we going to see more of these so-called monopolies going to court? More stories on this coming up? I think so. I do. I think you're going to see a lot more. I think the old ways of doing things that have been okayed or brushed under the rug for so many years is starting to come to light. And I think there's going to be a lot of pissed off people. A lot of business. I think a lot of people that have I don't want to say rich, but the very, very wealthy, powerful people that have created these monopolies are going to have a lot of answering to do. Next, RFK Jr. FDA reveal 8 petroleum-based dyes to be phased out of the U.S. food supply. This is great news. I think this is great news. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and the FDA Commissioner Dr. Marty Makary announced this week a long overdue plan to eliminate 8 petroleum-based synthetic dyes from the American food supply. This is great news. I think this is great news. I'm not going to go into all of it. I was going to, but it talks about the dyes. Food colorings like citrus red, number 2, orange B, and the 6 other different ones that they're talking about. The move is to phase out these chemicals. Aligns with the goals of Kennedy's Make America Healthy initiative. That's right, Gene. Yep, I'm loving this. Here's the thing. They also said in this, while Kennedy, a political figure whose alliances don't always align with the conservative base, has drawn criticism from both sides. This initiative reflects a shared value across political spectrum, protecting children and holding big food accountable. I think this is, again, I think this is great. I can't say that enough. I think we need to hold these big food companies accountable for the crap that they put in our food, especially if the FDA and some of these other, people or organizations are saying, hey, this is all right, or you're allowed to put so much in there and it'll still be okay. Instagram, I see you over there. DJ, I see you, brother. I appreciate you. I think that, again, I think this is good. I think this is good. Here's a fun one. 60-minute meltdown. Boss quits over Trump clash. Bill Owens, executive producer of CBS News 60 Minutes, announced his resignation, citing a loss of editorial independence. Let me say that again. Loss of editorial independence. After mounting pressure from the network's parent company and the fallout from a $10 billion lawsuit filed by none other than President Donald Trump. Owens, only the 3rd person to lead the iconic news magazine in its 57-year history, said in a staff memo that he could no longer, quote, run the show as I have always run it, end quote. He added that it had become clear in recent months that his ability to make independent decisions was being compromised. Here's my question to you guys. When you're there's a lot of edits that go on, right? Again, that's why I said editorial independence. Editorial independence. There's pros and cons to having an editor, right? Before it hits the news, the pro of it would be making sure that the verbiage is correct and it's not, whatever. I really, there's no pros. I'm trying to find a pro to it as I'm talking to you guys. Making sure there's no profanity in it there. The con to that is that when you have editors and they're being paid X amount of dollars, the editor can go in and fix it per their belief, have their own opinion, and input their opinion into this. We've seen it happen on both sides of the aisles. I'm not saying just Democrats. I'm saying Republicans, all parties involved. So it's interesting to see what's going to happen. This shakes up rising concerns about the growing corporate influence over legacy media and the potential silencing of editorial voices in the face of a political and financial pressure. Hmm. I'm hearing somebody crying right now. They're crying because they can't have their way on something. I don't know. That's just me. Rats jumping ship. Yes, they are, Gene. Yes, they are. I hope you stay on. 'Cause I'm going to talk about you here in just a couple minutes. Next up, here's a fun one too. Florida AG, it's Attorney General, files lawsuit against social media giant for exposing minors to harmful content. Florida's Attorney General took decisive action to protect children from the dangers of big tech. On Tuesday, earlier this week, Utmeyer, I hope I said the name right. If not, I apologize, announced a lawsuit against social media giant Snapchat, accusing the platform of knowingly breaking Florida law and exposing minors to harmful and predatory content. He made clear this is only the beginning of a broader crackdown on tech companies that put profits ahead of child safety. Now, I want to talk about this one for a second. I agree to this to an extent. I think it's good. We should be protecting our children. That said, however, it raises a question of where are the parents on this one? Because there's all kinds of different, there's things that you can put on the phone, and then what you say children, I'm assuming they're talking everybody under the age of 18, right? How are you protecting your children? I think the parents need to be more involved in this. And then the AG, the article didn't give it a specific example of what Snapchat did, or what was presented to these children, or let alone what age. I think a lot of it is if your kid of any age that's living at home and you're giving them a cell phone that you're paying for, then I think it's partly the parent's responsibility to make sure that what are your children consuming. My opinion might not be the most popular opinion, but let's put this back on the parents a little bit. Anybody have any thoughts on social media and parenting? That being said, there is a big thing with social media and luring kids in. Trafficking is a huge topic here in the United States, and that needs to be stopped. And I think if you're preying on children, there's you're a special kind of stupid, and there's a special place in hell for people like that. Personally, I don't think when it comes to kids, leave the kids out of it. Again, my opinion might not be popular, but that's just me. So if you guys have any comments on the parenting and the social media, I'd love to hear it. Leave it in there. Until then, we're going to move on to the next one because we're talking about none other. And military folks, pay attention to this one. Trump takes military's transgender policy to the Supreme Court. The Trump administration has requested the Supreme Court to review a lower court ruling that blocked its ban on transgender individuals in the military. Trump's executive order targeted the presence of, quote, radical gender ideology, end quote, doing that again, in the armed forces, which sought to appease activists unconcerned with the requirements of the military service, like physical and mental health, selflessness, and unit cohesion. David, good morning to you, brother. Appreciate you jumping on. What are your guys' thoughts on this? This is a hard. Not going to do it. Military's transgender policy. I'd like to know if we're seeing And I don't know. So I'm asking this. I'd like to know if we're starting to see a lot of people in the military that want to transition into man into a woman, woman into a man. And if that's the case, uh do standards change? You know, well, I'm going to transition to a woman because women ACFTs or PT scores or whatever is different than a man's, and I don't know. I'm trying to give examples here. But what happens? How is that going to change? Ken says it lowers morale of the fighting force. I don't disagree. Should be removed. Gene says it should be removed. Here's this is such, I'm trying to be as much as possible here, guys. I remember back in the day where it was very kind of like boom, boom, boom. Heather, thank you, appreciate you. Maybe it's got to go back to the days of we focus on the military and what's right and what we need to protect our nation, not, hey, join the military. It's have a career, and it's good. Still one of the best jobs I've ever had. But at the same time, it's like, stay focused on what your mission is. Don't start teetering off of like, oh, well, I'm this, and I'm Steve and I want to be Susie or whatever. Then if you want to do that, the military isn't the place necessarily maybe to be. I don't know. I'm not saying that's the case. I'm just saying maybe we should start looking at things like that then. But I'm also a firm believer is like, here's the thing. Should we make the standards even across the board? I know this has been a big talk. Thanks, DJ. Appreciate it, brother. I know there's been talks on special operations unit. Like if you want to join a special operations unit, then you have, whether you're male or female, you have to meet one standard across the board. That's not a bad idea. Are there women that are going to, and again, this goes back, people are going to argue, like, should women be in special units and combat roles, certain combat roles? Ken, don't ask, don't tell worked. It distracts from unit effectiveness. That's a very true statement, I think. Yeah. Maybe we need to think about going back to that. Yeah. Let me see here. What was it? That was it. That was it for the news topics. So let's dive into, I got an announcement. New show coming to HMG. Unapologetic Veterans Podcast. You guys take a guess at what that's all about? Unapologetic Veterans Podcast. David, good morning to you. I was wondering if you could show up. Yes, no. Yes, no, what? Yes on the don't ask, don't tell. No, it doesn't work. Yes, it works. New show, Unapologetic Veterans Podcast, is where raw truth meets real experience. Hosted by unapologetically bold veterans who walk the walk. This podcast is going to be a no BS space where military life, transition, and everything in between gets unpacked with grit, humor, and honesty. From the battlefield to the boardroom, from deployment stories to dealing with the aftermath of service, they're going to cover the issues that matter to those who have worn the uniform and those who still do. I'm excited about this show. This is going to be a good show, a really good show. It's going to be presented by Homefront Sit Rep Podcast. David, if you're still on, give a thumbs up. This show is going to be coming out in a couple weeks, so stay tuned for it. But we're excited to have a new show. I don't know if you guys have noticed or been really paying attention, but the last couple months we've had a lot of new shows coming on Heroes Media Group, and that just motivates the crap out of me. Great stuff. And if you're new to Heroes Media Group, go check out the website, heroesmediagroup.com. Check out all the shows and articles that are up there. And if you're a podcaster and you want a home, you need a home, we'd welcome you. Give us a call. Let us know what you got. Let's get started on the shows. First up, one of the newest shows, Two Disgruntled PMs. Meet host Daniel. These guys are hilarious. This is really a fun show to watch. These two guys, project managers, this is their second episode. So you just got to watch it. And they're taking off just freaking fast. It's unreal what these guys have done in a very, very short time. So check it out. Two Disgruntled PMs. Meet the host Daniel this week. That is live now. Warrior Veteranpreneur podcast, From Orphan to Impact, how Travis Johnson built a life of purpose, podcasting, and philanthropy. Travis is a good gentleman out of Oklahoma. Known him for a while, so it was good to see him on this show as well. Warrior Vetpreneur podcast. You could go to his YouTube channel and watch and listen to the shows there live. Great show. Keep It Spiritually Simple. You can go look up her YouTube channel. Sandra McEllis. Appreciate you. True Patriot Outfitters Doc Talk podcast. No longer. They did their last live this past Tuesday. So what does that mean for TPO? Gene, are you still on here? Yeah. Great show. I caught, Gene, if you're on, I caught parts of the show Tuesday night as I was trying to call in and couldn't because I did not have good service. But their Doc Talk podcast, their final episode was Tuesday. And I don't have any sound effects. But the good news is you see Gene there in the comments below. They're working on something new. So they're not going away. Doc Talk might be, but True Patriot Outfitters, they got something new coming up. Stand by. Because it's going to be happening quick. Next up, the Strategic Veteran. Oh, what was this? 5 seasons, 4.5 years. It was a blast. Yeah, you guys did a good job, man. I'm trying not to give too much away. If you want to, leave a comment what you got coming up next, but otherwise I'm going to wait until it goes live. David, good morning. Yes, go back to the old ways doing. No, I don't think. Yeah, I kind of figured that's how you felt, David, and I think a lot of us are right there with you. Double S podcast, May 11th, Sunday nights. Ooh, there you heard it from Gene right there. Double S podcast, May 11th, Sunday nights, live on social media. And you can catch them right here, live. Heroes Media Group. All right, Strategic Veteran with our boy Adam Peters. This episode, Ben, here's what I'm going to say. Adam's done 3 episodes this week. Go check them out. I just realized I had the old one up here. So Strategic Veteran, go check it out. I love it. Next, Homefront Sit Rep podcast. This week, they speak with inspiring military children with Operation Teammate. Operation Teammate. Go check that out. That was this week's Homefront Sit Rep podcast. J-Mac down in Arizona. He's got some new stuff coming out. Stay tuned for that. Senior Living Guide. 100 episodes. Congratulations to Senior Living Guide. They hit 100 episodes this week. Great accomplishment. That's a huge accomplishment in the podcast world. Great job. Darlene, the host over there, has just done a phenomenal job. This episode, they explore the innovative use of TikTok and social media in senior living communities with special guest Paige Stewart. Paige is the marketing and recruitment specialist over at St. Paul's Senior Living Community in Greenville, Pennsylvania. She shares how these activities enhance residents' lives and challenge perceptions about aging. With over 227,000 followers on TikTok, St. Peter Senior Living has become a hub of creativity and social connection. This is a really fun episode to listen to. And it's super great. And if you ever go, if you get on TikTok and you check out their senior living, St. Paul's Senior Living TikTok page, it's pretty funny to watch. The older people getting on TikTok and doing dances and keeping them active, and they have a blast. This was a super fun episode to listen to. Senior Living Guide, congratulations on 100 episodes. Next up, we got Patriots Inside the Wire, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday nights, the Two-Step Tribe. They're doing a ton of stuff. Go check it out. They do lives every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night, and I believe there's going to be one tonight as well, from 4 to 6 Central Standard Time. And she's got some more stuff coming up and a big announcement to make here pretty soon, so stay tuned for that. Bumping the Road, navigating midlife, embracing change, and finding purpose. Midlife can be transformative phase. I'm feeling that myself. Filled with both challenges and opportunities. With growing awareness of limited time, many of us reassess where we are and where we want to go. That's so true. Bumping the Road podcast. Check it out. Arms Room Show every Monday, 2 p.m. Arizona time. Because Arizona, you guys are on your own time. We'll be discussing the why it's important to create realism in your training, whether it's firearms training, medical training, what have you. Why is it important to create realism in your training? Go check it out. Arms Room Show, the OGs of HMG. Next up, we got the Misfit Nation podcast with our man Rich. Rich was on a little bit earlier in the comments there. This week, Dean Graves, a renowned spiritual teacher, author, and podcaster with over 2 decades of experience, discover insights of meditation, mindfulness, and self-healing, and a whole lot more. I absolutely love this episode. Misfit Nation podcast. Check it out. Shirley Hughes, I see you, sweetheart. How are you? Looking forward to seeing you here in a couple weeks. Thank you for jumping on. Next up, we got Label Free podcast. This week, Greg DeKalb, founder of Appointments IQ and the renowned Tony P's networking events in Chicago. Greg shares his journey from transitioning from corporate career in marketing to sales to entrepreneurship, launching both companies about 8 years ago. He discusses how the idea for Tony P's networking events emerged from his collaboration with Tony P, highlighting their unique approach to networking by utilizing vibrant nightclub venues instead of the traditional conference room. This is pretty interesting. If you've ever been to like a networking event, whether it's like a Toastmasters or BNI, you should go. They do it completely different using nightclubs. And speaking of networking events, if you're looking for a networking group to be a part of, check out the Maker's Machine with Adam Bird and Shay Sparks. We've got a networking group that meets every Thursday from 3 to 4 Eastern time. If you're interested, leave me a comment and we'll send you some more information on it. It's called the Maker's Machine. Next up, we got Your 6 at 6 with the People's Patriot Project every Sunday night, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Roundtable. They got all kinds of good stuff. They played music from veteran artists. Great stuff. I absolutely love the show. Check it out. Next up, the Decision Hour with yours truly. This week, I speak with Army veteran Tom Long, and we're talking about the Army 250th birthday, which is right around the corner. It's coming up this June. What's going to happen? there is a huge event happening. In fact, it's going to be the nation's largest Army birthday event, and it's happening in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania this year. Tom jumps on, talks about what the city is going to be doing for the Army's 250. This is the start, the kickoff of a one-year celebration for America's 250. There's going to be reenactments. There's going to be jump-ins. There's going to be all kinds of, it's a family-friendly environment. This is something you don't want to miss. It's going to be June 14th and 15th in Philadelphia. If you've never been to Philly, you definitely want to come check it out. Very historical place. It's the birthplace. It's where it all started. One of the reenactments is going to be George Washington going to Independence Hall, getting his orders as they make him the general of the Continental Army. And then going through, there's going to be people dressed up from every generation of the United States Army since inception. It's going to be awesome. We're going to be there streaming live. So if you want to come out, more details, listen to the show, The Decision Hour. Next up, we got the other side of the firewall. This week, they're talking about cybersecurity and emerging. There's a popular trend going on social media right now, that the AI generated action figures and some of the implications of personal privacy that brings with that. We see a lot of it. A lot of us think it's harmless, but is it harmless? You might want to listen to this, and you'd be surprised at how creating some of these action figures and whatnot, what that could do for your privacy later on. It's called The Other Side of the Firewall. Check it out. Next up, Pushing Back Chaos. I just got word this morning that these guys are coming back next week after a hiatus. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to seeing what these guys are going to bring to the table next week. I'll stand by for that. Next up, we got the MSEC podcast, Military Child Education Coalition. If you are a veteran, active duty, guard, or reserve, and you have children in the home still going to school, please go check out militarychild.org. Great nonprofit organization for our military children. Slew of resources that they have there. This week, conversation with last year's Call for the Arts Spotlight winner, Kyler. Listen as he discusses how creating and producing music has given him the opportunity to express his feelings in growing up in the as a military child. So great stuff, great episode, MSEC podcast. Couple more, stay with me. Chasing Happiness. This week, I open up, Ryan the host, opens up about something we all kind of wrestle with, but rarely admit out loud. Doubt. Yeah, so true. Whether you're in a storm of delays or facing back-to-back setbacks or just lying awake at night, second-guessing your every next move, how do you get over it? Well, take a listen to this. He's got some great tools for you. Chasing Happiness. Last but not least for the shows this week, Rise Up, Voices from the Front Line. Backpacks to Battle Plans, where readiness meets resilience for for families, timeless schools, and communities. This isn't just about packing supplies. It's about packing knowledge, confidence, crisis-proof strategies, and more. Check it out. Krista goes into all of it. Rise Up, Voices from the Front Line. Shout out to our sponsors. From the Farm. Go to fromthefarm.com. Go check them out. If you're a rancher, farmer, get your stuff on their website now. My Tax Fella, bookkeeping, taxes, you need your stuff done, go to mytaxfella.com. JB Auto Clothiers, that's hooking me up with the jacket today. Absolutely love it. Forget Genetics, veteran-owned company. If you are an outdoorsman and you like deer hunting and you want the deer in your woods, then I would look at Forget Genetics. Go to forgetgenetics.com. Jim Neary's Live Bait and Tackle, Warriors on the Water LTD, two great organizations, veteran organizations. Absolutely love them, guys. Thank you so much. Fin Tactical, they created our new website, Heroes Media Group, so go check them out. Great organization. The Freedom People and VA Claim Builder. Freedom People, if you're looking for a trust or you don't have a family trust, go see these guys. It's another great nonprofit organization, and they will definitely take care of you. VA Claim Builder, for all you vets out there, this is a free app. If you're having trouble with your claims, your VA claims, Go download the VA Claim Builder. This is an app. It's free. It's free. It's free. It's definitely going to help you out. It's free. Go check it out. And last but certainly not least, our sister company, HMG Beverage, HMG Coffee. We're going to have sales coming up on the coffee in June. Mark your calendars for June. That's it. I got to get out of here, guys. I'm sorry. I love you. I do. I really do. But it's time for me to go. Next week, I'm going to be on the road. Where am I going to be? I don't know. Tune in next week, but I'm going to be somewhere in the Southwest, Midwest. It's crazy. It's going to be, let's find Adam. Where's Adam next week? In the meantime, get outside this weekend. The weather's getting nicer. Protect your minds. Do something nice for your neighbor. God bless you. God bless America. We'll see you guys next week. Take care.